Today on 9 News Mornings, 2 deputies have been indicted and fired for their involvement in the death of Christian Glass. What we know this morning about the felony charges.
He was very kind, and I used to call him my gentle giant.
Families sharing the stories of those they lost in the Club Q shooting. One mom says her son lit up a room. After a long, hard week, it is time to reflect on what we are grateful for. We take to the streets with that important question coming up on 9 News Mornings. And we are certainly grateful for so much around here this morning. Grateful to be sitting alongside these two, Jordan Chavez, Erica Lopez.
Well, right back at you.
And start off their turkey day. How about that?
Hey, it's going to be a pretty nice day. It's going to start a little chilly. We're not going to get out of the 40s, but then we have a pretty nice spate of weather until we get to next Tuesday, because I
That's
know
the day to watch out for.
Cold.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's going to be real cold. Big chunk of cold air is headed our way.
Big chunk.
In our calendars right now?
Yes. Mark your weather. Remember, you heard it here first. But in the meantime, we do have some cloudy skies. We've seen some snow showers around here. It's going to stay chilly today, but a quick warm-up comes tomorrow. So let's take a look at what we've got going on. Cloudy to partly cloudy skies, 30 degrees out at the airport right now. And you can see these cloudy skies and some snow showers we've had, especially down to the south, Douglas, Elbert counties. That's where we got a little light snow. We've seen a few flurries in Denver, and that's about it. And still seeing a little bit of snow shower activity to the north, but most of it is going down to the south. And see the heavier snow down here? That's where we have a winter weather advisory and a winter storm warning. Clear skies as the day goes on with the snow continuing there, and then tomorrow, border to border, we pretty much have sunshine just about all day long and really all weekend long. So decreasing clouds, clearing but chilly today, 40 degrees. Then for tonight, clear skies and 19 degrees. As we look ahead, Friday, 55 degrees. We stay in the 50s for your Saturday and Sunday. Sunshine all the way. More the same on your Monday. Here's what I was talking about. Mark that calendar. 30 degrees on Tuesday, and that may be optimistic, and we have a chance for snow.
Thank you so much. We start this morning with developing news. The deputy who shot and killed a man suffering a mental health crisis is facing charges for second-degree murder.
The Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office announced late last night a grand jury indicted deputies Andrew Bune and Kyle Gold in the death of Christian Glass. Glass called 911 when his car got stuck on the side of the road in Silver Plume back in June. Body camera video captured the 70 minutes that followed. Deputies tried to get Glass out of the car. He was scared and would not get out. Eventually, a deputy broke a window. Deputies shot him with beanbags, tased him, and then Bune shot him 6 times. Glass was holding a small knife in his lap when Bune fired. Court documents say the grand jury indicted Bune for second-degree murder, official misconduct, and reckless endangerment. The grand jury indicted Gold for criminally negligent homicide, and reckless endangerment. Bune's bond has been set for $50,000. Gold's bond is $2,500. Glass family released a statement overnight saying nothing will bring Christian back to his family. Simon and Sally Glass say they are relieved appropriate charges have been brought against some of those responsible for the murder of their son. Clear Creek has fired both deputies. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office has been conducting an internal investigation to exactly what happened that night. The initial investigation found there were policy and procedural failures with Clear Creek's response that night. Sadly, 5 families will be missing someone at the Thanksgiving table this year after a shooter opened fire inside an LGBTQ plus club this weekend. Yeah, witnesses and law enforcement said people inside Club Q beat the shooter into submission. It was clear when we got our first look at the suspect. It appears the suspect was absolutely pummeled by people in the crowd who leapt into action during that shooting late Saturday night. The suspect appeared in court yesterday. Defense lawyers say their client identifies as non-binary and uses they/them pronouns. The suspect will stay in custody. No bond was given. Prosecutors have not filed formal charges yet, but the suspect is being held on suspicion of 5 counts of first-degree murder and 5 counts of a bias-motivated crime. One of the 5 Club Q victims we have not heard much about is Raymond Vance. The 22-year-old was there that night with his girlfriend. That girlfriend's father is Richard Fierro, a combat veteran who took down and held the suspect until police arrived. Vance's mother says he lit up every room he walked into. He was very kind, and I used to call him my gentle giant.
Is it settled in?
No, I still, I still think he's gonna walk in through the door.
Why did that bullet went to him?
That's one of the biggest questions.
Heartbreaking to hear from them. Vance's mother understandably says that she and her family are very heartbroken. Colorado Springs was once known, by the way, as the city of hate. It was a movement to block LGBTQ+ rights in Colorado that started there in the early 1990s.
Yeah, and since then the city has come a long way, but the shooting at Club Q shows that there is still a lot of work that's left to do. 9 News reporter Mark Salinger spoke with a man who's been fighting for decades to make everyone feel welcome.
The flags outside Poor Richard's restaurant in downtown Colorado Springs are not new.
Well, we want people to feel safe.
But this week, they've become even more important.
Because of what happened, there really is a lot of people in the city who don't necessarily trust where they are.
Richard Storman opened shop nearly 5 decades ago.
In '77,
He remembers how different his city used to be.
Colorado was the hate state. There was a national boycott, and then there was a national boycott of Colorado Springs in particular. We were the hate city and the hate state.
In the early 1990s, religious groups in Colorado Springs started a movement to change the state constitution. Voters approved Amendment 2 in 1992, making it illegal for cities to pass laws protecting people based on sexual orientation.
If somebody happened to be LGBTQ and walked into a hotel, they could be denied a room.
Richard was one of the leaders of the movement to oppose Amendment 2. He says Colorado Springs became a scary place to live.
We had a brick thrown through our window with a note on it saying it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Swastika on the bathroom wall. Death threats regularly.
3 decades can make a big difference. There's a new flag now flying in Colorado Springs. This one, handing on the building Richard spent more than a decade in as a city council member.
Today they put a rainbow flag across City Hall.
A symbol of how much this city has changed. Flying tonight because of the work that's still left to do.
And then to have this happen last Saturday night, it's been a real blow for many of us.
While Amendment 2 was passed in 1992 by Colorado voters, it never actually went into effect. After years of legal battle, the United States Supreme Court deemed it unconstitutional and a violation of the 14th Amendment.
There has certainly been a visible outpouring of support for the LGBTQ+ community since Saturday. As you just heard from Mark Salinger, the Colorado Springs government hung up a 25-foot historic pride flag outside City Hall this week. It's on loan from the Sacred Cloth Project as a gesture of love, solidarity, and healing. The Sacred Cloth Pride flag is the same flag, by the way, that flew outside the Pulse nightclub in Orlando after the shooting there back in 2016. And it was outside the Supreme Court in 2015 when justices ruled same-sex marriage was legal in all 50 states. Sacred Cloth is part of the Rainbow 25 flag created back in 2003 to mark 25 years of that first Pride flag. That one stretched more than a mile long before it was cut into different pieces. And Colorado leaders are also showing that the state stands with their LGBTQ+ community. Governor Polis shared a video of 2 pride flags that are on display outside the state capitol right now. One is the pride flag with the Colorado logo on it, hung just outside one of the windows there, and the other is on a flagpole at half-staff. The video also shares a list of resources for those who are struggling right now.
If you want to donate to the victims and people who were impacted by the Club Q shooting, the Colorado Healing Fund has been activated. It's a method to donate in a secure way that goes to the people who are impacted and their community's long-term recovery. We have more details on our website, 9news.com. And of course, right now is the season of giving, and there are many who are still struggling with food insecurity. The Salvation Army wants to make sure all families are able to get a meal for the holiday.
Yeah, John Glasgow is live from the Salvation Army for us this morning. John, doing a lot of good work, but first we're going to talk about what's on top of your head, my friend.
They said, hey, John, if you're going to be in the kitchen, you've got to wear the hat, wear the apron, put the gloves on, get to work. They need some bodies down here to help with this. This is a big endeavor. And you know what? It's helping a lot of people, too. 7,000 meals is how many they're preparing here today at the Salvation Army. Look at this. We've got the gravy being cooked here behind us. They're going to spice it up, get it all going here. They've already prepared a lot of the turkey, the mashed potatoes. And if you look over here to the left, let's show the biscuits. Those are in the oven warming right here. Oh, yes. How good does that look? So This is all for a good cause, though. This is to feed up to, I mentioned, 7,000 people here today. So a lot of this is prep work is happening here till about 10 o'clock this morning. And then at 10:30, they're going to start delivering all of these meals out to people in need. This will go to Crossroads, this will go to Lambeth Family Center, Harbor Light, the safe outdoor spaces in Aurora, as well as the 5 Salvation Army Corps as well. So they're going to be serving these meals between noon and 2:30. But a lot of work, a lot of preps going into this. What's in the gravy? How's it going? How's it tasting? You do a little taste test there? Yep. Can we do a little taste test? Let's see how the gravy's going. Oh, we need a spoon. Okay. Can I do a little dunk there? Perfect. All right. Oh, yeah. That's good. That's fantastic. Yeah. Well done. All right. So, yeah, we're going to be here throughout the morning. We're also going to talk about a big grant that the Salvation got, and we're going to talk about that at 5:30. This is huge money that's going to go a long way. We're going to talk about that at 5:30 coming up. So we'll send it back to you guys. I got to get back to work here, guys. So,
all right, John, looks like things are all gravy, baby, over there. All right, we'll check back in with you here in just a bit.